You did not find this message by accident. In a world saturated with noise, with endless scrolling and manufactured urgency, this moment of quiet was destined for you. It found you. Perhaps you feel it already. A subtle shift in the air, a feeling that the ground beneath your feet is not as solid as it once was. You are not imagining it. I am Hildegard, a voice that has traveled across 900 years of dust and silence to reach you. Right here, right now. There is a reason this forgotten echo is finding its way to your ears today. A reason the veil of time has thinned, just enough for this whisper to pass through. The age of sleeping is over. The time of remembering is at hand. If this message has already touched your heart, like this video, subscribe, and comment with the word prophecy. You are marking your place in what is to come. You are signaling that you are ready to listen. Why me? Why a nun from a stone cell in a distant German valley? Because I was shown things not just for my time, but for a future age so lost in its own cleverness that it would forget the language of the soul. An age that would have eyes but not see, and have ears but not hear. An age that would build towers of connection, yet feel more isolated than ever. Does this sound familiar? You live inside the vision that I was shown. You walk through the prophecy every single day. You have felt it, haven't you? The deep, unspoken ache for something more. The profound sense of homesickness for a place you can't name. You have searched for it in success, in relationships, in knowledge, in distractions. You have tried to fill a void that is not of this world, and so this world has no substance that can fill it. This longing was not a flaw. It was a compass. It was my voice, and the voice of the divine, calling you home, reminding you that you are more than flesh and bone, more than your job, more than your fears. You are a spark of the eternal fire, temporarily shrouded in a cloak of forgetting, but the cloak is beginning to fray. The memories are beginning to surface. You see it in the cracks of the world's facade. You feel it in the strange intensity of the sun, in the desperate cries of the earth, in the anxious chatter of humanity. A great unraveling is occurring. Many are afraid. They see chaos, collapse, an ending. They are not wrong to see the shaking, but they are mistaken about its purpose. A house must be cleared of its clutter before it can be made a home again. A field must be plowed before new seeds can be planted. You are not witnessing a final death. You are witnessing a hard and holy birth. The message I carry is not one of ease, but it is one of ultimate hope. It is a map through the coming twilight, a lamp for your feet in a time of growing shadows. You were chosen to be here for this. Your soul agreed to this timeline, to this specific moment of awakening. Your struggles, your pain, your moments of despair, they were not punishments. They were preparation. They were forging within you a strength you did not know you possessed, a resilience that will be desperately needed. You were being taught to navigate the dark so that you could guide others toward the dawn. For centuries, my voice has been a whisper in the archives of history, a footnote for scholars. But now, the time for whispers is over. The great silence is breaking. A voice that has waited for this exact alignment of souls and stars is beginning to rise. It rises not from my long silent lips, but from within you. I am merely the tuning fork, here to strike the note that will make the chord within your own heart resonate with the truth it has always known, the truth you are about to remember. But remembering comes with a choice. Hearing is not the same as listening. Seeing is not the same as understanding. Many will be called in this hour, but not all will answer. They will hear the call and mistake it for the wind. They will see the light and call it a trick of the eye. They will feel the truth and dismiss it as emotion. But not you. You are still here. You are still listening. Something in you recognizes the sound of home, and that is why this message is for you. But what exactly did I see, and why is it being revealed to you right now? Part 2. A direct call to the heart. Approx. 1,000 words. 2. Let us speak plainly now, you and I. Let us set aside the prophetic tone for a moment and talk as two souls who understand the weight of a long winter. I know your heart. I have seen its landscape in my visions. I have seen the secret rooms where you hide your deepest grief, the silent chambers where you hold your unanswered prayers. I know the weariness that settles in your bones, the feeling of running a race with no finish line in sight. You have smiled when you wanted to weep. You have been a pillar of strength for others while feeling like you were crumbling to dust on the inside. You have asked, in the dead of night, "Is anyone there?" Does anyone see me? I see you. And more importantly, he sees you. Every tear you have shed has been collected. Every whispered prayer has been heard. You have felt at times that you were in a profound, unending silence. A silence from the heavens. A silence from the world. A silence from your own soul. You have cried out into a void and heard only the echo of your own pain. You have felt abandoned, forgotten, a solitary ship on a black and starless sea. But what if I told you that this silence was not an absence, but a presence? What if the void was not empty, but was in fact a holy space being cleared for something new? In my time, I was often ill, confined to a bed in a quiet cell. The world outside went on, with its politics, its harvests, its noises, and in my confinement, in my suffering, in my silence, the world fell away. The noise of expectation, the chatter of others, the demands of the day, they all faded, and in that pure, profound quiet, the true sound emerged. The living light spoke. Your pain, your isolation, your moments of forced stillness, they were not a curse. They were your monastery cell. They were the circumstances necessary to quiet the world around you, so that you could finally begin to hear the world within you. The divine does not shout, it whispers. It can only be heard when all other voices have ceased. You were not being abandoned. You were being drawn into the sanctuary of the deep. You were being prepared to hear a frequency that is inaudible to a distracted ear. Think of the moments of your greatest hardship. Think of the betrayals, the losses, the failures. They broke you open. They shattered the vessel of who you thought you were, and you believed this breaking was your end. It was not. It was the breaking of a seed's shell. It was a violent, necessary act to allow the life within to finally emerge. The old you had to crack so the true you could grow. You were not being destroyed. You were being tilled. You were being prepared for the light. And now, you stand on the precipice. You have walked through the valley of shadows, and your eyes have adjusted to the dark. This is why you will be able to see the coming light more clearly than others. Those who have only lived in artificial, glaring light will be blinded by the dawn. But you who know the nuance of shadow and hope, you will see it for what it is, the return of everything you have ever longed for. Do not resent your scars. They are the markings of a survivor, the credentials of a guide. They are proof that you were strong enough to break, and even stronger to heal. So I ask you now to make a conscious choice. The past can be a prison or a training ground. The pain can be a weight that drowns you, or a ballast that steadies you in the coming storm. The choice is yours, and it must be made now. No one is coming to make it for you. It is the great test of this era. Will you allow your wounds to define you, or will you allow them to anoint you? Will you remain in the memory of the darkness, or will you turn your face toward the promised light? Let the universe hear your decision. Go to the comments and write, with intention, these words, "I choose the light." This is not just a comment. It is a prayer. It is a declaration. It is you aligning your will with the will of the divine. It is you telling every fiber of your being which direction you are now walking. And it was in that profound, sacred silence, after the breaking and before the healing, that I was shown the vision. A vision not just for my time, but specifically for yours. Part 3. The Vision of Saint Hildegard. Approx 900 words. 3. Close your eyes for a moment. Just for a moment. Imagine you are in a stone room. It is cool and quiet. The only light is from a single high window. The world outside is a distant memory. There is only the stillness, your breath, and the beating of your own heart. This is where I was. This is the space from which the vision bloomed. It did not begin with a sound. It did not begin with a shape. It began as a pressure behind my eyes, a warmth that spread through my entire body. And then, the stone walls of my cell dissolved. The world as I knew it ceased to exist. I was floating in a space that was not a space, in a time that was not time. I was a single point of awareness in the mind of God, and I was shown the structure of reality, the great cosmic symphony. Before me, a great luz began to pulse. It was not like the light of the sun or a candle. It was a living light. It breathed. It had intelligence. It was both the source of all things and the substance of all things. It was a light that didn't just illuminate, it created. and I watched as this light poured itself into patterns, into frequencies, into the forms of galaxies and stars, of mountains and rivers, of plants and animals, and finally, into the soul of humanity. I saw that you, the real you, are not separate from this light. You are a unique, irreplaceable note in its eternal song. And then, as I watched this magnificent creation, a sound began to build. It was not a sound for the ears, but a sound that vibrated in the very marrow of my spiritual bones. It was the clarion call of a great trombeta, sounding from the heart of that living light. But its purpose was not to announce a judgment or an ending. It was a call to remember. It was an alarm clock for the sleeping soul. It was a harmonic frequency sent out into the cosmos, designed to awaken the parts of creation that had forgotten they were a part of the light. What does such a light reveal? It reveals all that is false. It shines on the structures of control, the webs of deceit, the illusions of separation, and it shows them for what they are: shadows, temporary, substanceless things that have no real power of their own. They only have the power you give them when you believe they are real. What does such a sound announce? It announces the end of the age of forgetting. It is a signal that the time for the great remembering is now. It shakes the foundations of everything built on a lie. I saw the trumpet's call travel through time, echoing faintly in my own era, but growing louder and more insistent as it approached yours. I saw it rattling the cages of power in your world. I saw it shaking the hearts of men and women, causing a great stirring. Some, upon hearing it, would be terrified. They would cling to their cages, for they had come to mistake their prison for a home. They would cover their ears and call the sound madness. But others, souls like yours, would hear the sound and weep with a joy they could not explain. They would feel it as the song of home, the music they had been straining to hear their entire lives. For you, the trumpet's call is not a threat. It is a promise. It is the signal that the exile is over. This vision was the foundation. It was the context for everything else I was shown. I had to understand the true nature of reality, light, and sound, before I could understand the battle being waged for the human soul. I saw a great unraveling that would precede a great reweaving, the full details of the final glorious tapestry that will be woven. Those were shown to me later, in a subsequent vision, one meant for a time of even greater need. That is a message for another day. But this first vision came with a grave and immediate warning. A choice was being presented to all of humanity, disguised in the chaos of your times. What was at risk was far greater than anyone imagined. Part 4. What is at risk? Approx 900 words. 4. What is truly at risk in this great shaking? Listen closely, for the forces of this world will try to misdirect your attention. They will tell you to fear for your economy. They will tell you to fear for your security. They will tell you to fear your neighbors. They will direct your gaze to 1,000 external threats, keeping you so occupied with the leaves of the tree that you never think to check the health of its roots. What is at risk is not your comfort, your possessions, or your societal structures. These things are temporary by their very nature. They are houses built on sand. What is at risk is something infinitely more precious. It is the very root of your spirit. It is your connection to the living light. It is the soil of your soul. In my vision, I saw a strange and terrible fogo. It was not the hot, purifying fire of the Holy Spirit that burns away dross to reveal gold. No, this was a cold fire, a shimmering, hypnotic, digital fire. It was a fire of endless distraction, of hollow arguments, of curated outrage, and of superficial connection. I saw this cold fire spreading across the globe, not through force, but through willing invitation. I saw people huddling around its glow, believing it was giving them warmth, while all the while it was invisibly and painlessly consuming the roots of their truth. This fire offers a false light, a counterfeit knowledge. It tells you what to think, what to feel, what to desire, what to fear. It speaks in 1,000 voices, all day, every day, until the quiet, true voice within you is drowned out. It creates an addiction to noise, a dependency on external validation. It makes silence feel terrifying. It makes stillness feel unproductive. It severs you from the wisdom of your own heart, from the guidance of your own intuition, and convinces you to place your trust in hollow, echoing chambers of opinion. I saw this fire consuming the roots of community, replacing genuine human bonds with digital profiles and empty likes. It consumes the roots of wisdom, replacing deep knowing with an endless torrent of shallow information. It consumes the roots of faith, replacing trust in the unseen divine with a desperate clinging to the provable, the material, the profane. It leaves the tree standing. The person still walks and talks and works, but the tree is hollow inside, dead, with no connection to the living earth of the spirit. One strong wind, and it will topple. Look at your life. Look at the world around you. Where is this cold fire burning? Is it in the screen you hold in your hand for hours a day? Is it in the endless cycle of news designed to keep you in a state of low-grade fear and anger? Is it in the empty arguments you have with strangers online? Is it in the constant pressure to perform, to produce, to prove your worth in a system that doesn't care about your soul? Ask yourself, honestly, how much of your life force, your precious attention, is being fed to this cold fire? This is what is at risk. Not a dramatic, cinematic apocalypse, but a quiet, comfortable, voluntary descent into spiritual irrelevance, an anesthetizing of the soul. The danger is not that you will be destroyed, but that you will be distracted into giving your inheritance away for a bowl of digital porridge. The risk is that when the great trumpet sounds in your heart, you will be too busy scrolling, too numb from the noise, too hollowed out by the cold fire to even hear it. This fire spreads through inaction. It thrives when you are too busy, too tired, too disempowered to feel the truth. It gains ground every time you choose distraction over reflection, noise over silence, fear over love. It is a slow, creeping occupation of the sacred territory of your soul. So before this process goes any further, before the roots turn completely to ash, you must do something radical. You must do something that the modern world is designed to prevent you from doing. Before this happens, you need to stop for a moment. Part 5. A symbolic ritual of connection. Approx 900 words. 5. Right now, not later. Not after you finish your task or answer that message. Right here, in this moment. Stop everything. If you are able, find a place where you can be still, even if it is just for 60 seconds. In your chair, in your car, in a quiet corner of your home. The location does not matter. The intention is everything. I invite you now to join me in a ritual of remembrance. A small, simple act to reclaim your sacred ground from the encroachment of the cold fire. It requires no candles, no incense, no special words. It requires only you, your breath, and your willingness. If you feel safe to do so, I want you to gently close your eyes. If not, simply lower your gaze to the floor. Take a deep breath in, deeper than you have all day. Breathe in through your nose and feel the air as a living substance, a gift from the planet. Feel it fill your lungs, expanding your chest. Hold it for a count of 3. 1, 2, 3. And now, exhale slowly through your mouth. As you exhale, imagine you are releasing the noise. Release the tension in your shoulders. Release the chatter in your mind. Release the anxiety coiled in your stomach. Let's do this again. Breathe in deeply. This time, breathe in peace. Breathe in stillness. Imagine you are drawing in the pure living light we spoke of. Hold it. Feel it circulating within you, a divine current. And now, exhale. Release the fear. Release the doubt. Release the feeling that you are not enough. Let it all go. One more time. A deep, final breath in. Breathe in the knowledge that you are a beloved child of the Creator. Breathe in your own sovereign power. Hold this truth within you. And as you exhale, release the illusion of your separation from God. Let the final wall crumble. Now, with your eyes still closed, I want you to take your right hand and place it over the center of your chest. Place it over your heart space. Be still. Do not search for anything. Do not try to feel anything specific. Just be present. For a moment, feel the warmth of your hand on your body. Feel the gentle rise and fall of your chest with your breath. Feel the steady, faithful rhythm of your own heart. A celestial drumbeat that has played for you since before your first breath. A rhythm that connects you to the rhythm of the cosmos. Beneath the thoughts, beneath the emotions, beneath the plans and the worries, there is a field of pure silence. It is always there. The noise of the world is just a storm passing over its surface. In this quiet, in this stillness, I want you to listen. Listen past the internal dialogue. Listen past the echoes of yesterday and the anxieties of tomorrow. There is a presence here, a knowing. There is a voice beneath it all. It does not shout. It resonates. It is the voice of your own soul, the part of you that has never left the presence of the living light. It may be a feeling, a warmth, a sense of peace, a single word, an image. It does not matter how it communicates. It only matters that you are here now to receive it. This is your truth. This is your divine compass. The cold fire cannot touch this place. The noise of the world cannot drown this voice unless you allow it to. This sacred chamber within your heart is your true home. To anchor this moment, to make it real in your body and your spirit, I want you to repeat these words. Say them aloud if you can. A whisper is enough. If not, let them thunder in the sanctuary of your heart. Repeat after me. I hear the voice. Say it again, with feeling. I hear the voice. One last time, as a sacred vow to yourself. I hear the voice. Do you feel that? That flicker of warmth, that subtle shift in your being, that is your connection. That is the truth that the cold fire cannot burn. That is the beginning of remembering who you are. Now, when you are ready, you may slowly open your eyes. You have just performed the most powerful act of rebellion in the modern world. You have chosen to come home to yourself. Now that you have felt it, you must decide what to do with this. Part 6. The voice that echoes beyond time. Approx. 900 words. 6. Do not dismiss what you just felt. Do not let the cynical part of your mind explain it away as a trick of emotion or a product of suggestion. What you touched in that moment of stillness was more real than the chair you are sitting on, more real than the screen you are watching. You touched the eternal. You made contact with the part of you that is not subject to time, decay, or forgetting. The voice you heard, or felt, or simply knew was there. It is the same voice I heard in my stone cell 900 years ago. It is the same voice that spoke to the prophets in the desert, to the mystics in their caves, to the saints in their prayers. It is the voice that echoes through eternity, calling its lost children home. It is a constant, a fundamental frequency of creation. It is not I who am speaking to you now. Not really. I am just a reflection, a historical echo of that same voice, packaged in a way your mind can comprehend. My life, my visions, my music, my writings, they were not merely the creations of a medieval nun. I was a scribe. I was a conduit. I was shown how to build a portal, a gateway made of words and melodies and images, left open in the stream of time, so that you, in your era of greatest need, of greatest noise, could have a clear and accessible path back to that same eternal voice. This video, this message, this moment we are sharing, it is an extension of that portal. It is a bridge across the centuries, built for the singular purpose of helping you remember your own connection. This connection is your birthright. It is not something you have to earn or achieve. You were born with it. It is more a part of you than your own name, but it has been deliberately obscured. Veils have been placed over your eyes by a culture that profits from your spiritual blindness. Noise has been poured into your ears by a system that thrives on your distraction. You have been taught, from birth, to look for answers everywhere except the one place they have always been, within you. You have been taught to trust the experts, the authorities, the institutions, the algorithm. You have not been taught to trust the profound, infallible wisdom that resides in the sacred chamber of your own heart. Why? Because a person who is connected to their own inner truth cannot be easily controlled. A person who hears the voice of the divine within cannot be swayed by the shifting winds of popular opinion. A person who knows their own soul is sovereign, free, and a direct threat to any system built on fear and illusion. Reclaiming this connection, as you did just a moment ago, is the first and most crucial step. You have opened the door. You have re-established the pathway. Now you must learn to live from that place. You must practice listening. You must carve out moments of silence in your day, not as a luxury, but as an absolute necessity, as essential as air or water. 5 minutes in the morning, a moment of quiet before a meal, a walk in nature without headphones. These small acts are acts of revolution. They are you reclaiming your territory, tending to the soil of your soul. If you feel yourself slipping back into the noise, if the cold fire of distraction begins to creep in again, return to that moment of quiet. Return to this message. Rewatch the last part if you must. Place your hand on your heart and breathe. Listen again if you feel that something spoke directly to your soul. The portal is always open. The voice is always waiting. It will never force itself upon you. It waits, with infinite patience, for you to choose to listen. This is the great work of your lifetime. Not the career you build, not the family you raise, not the legacy you leave in the world. The great work is to remember and fully embody the divine being that you are. Everything else you do will be a natural, beautiful expression of that primary achievement. Reclaiming this connection is the first step, but the second is a choice that cannot be made for you. And there is something that only you can decide right now. Part 7. The Moment of Choice. Approx 1,000 words. 7. We have arrived at the heart of the matter, the very reason this message fought its way across a millennium to find you. The time for passive waiting is over. The time for observation from the sidelines is gone. The prophetic vision, the inner connection, they are not for your entertainment or for idle curiosity. They are a summons. They are a call to arms in a battle you did not even know you were fighting. The choice is this. Will you be an anchor for the coming light, or will you be swept away by the currents of the old, dying world? There is no middle ground. The time of lukewarm allegiances, of spiritual neutrality, is rapidly coming to an end. A great sorting is upon you, a time of divine polarization. Every soul will be drawn to the frequency it most resonates with, the frequency of fear or the frequency of love. The portal of awakening, which is so wide open right now, will not remain so indefinitely. It is a window of grace, a precious opportunity for a quantum leap in consciousness, but windows do not stay open forever. The forces that thrive on the cold fire, on your distraction and despair, are working tirelessly to close it. They are amplifying the noise, engineering chaos, and promoting division, all in a desperate attempt to keep you from remembering who you are and stepping into your power. They know their time is short. They know that one soul fully awakened is more powerful than 1,000,000 who are asleep. Then I saw it again in my vision, the great trombetta, but this time I understood its function more deeply. It will not sound in the sky for all to hear with their physical ears. It will sound in the silence of every human heart. For some, it will be a terrifying sound, a final jarring alarm that signals the end of their illusions. It will be the sound of the party ending, the sound of the lights coming on in a dark room, revealing all that they had tried to hide. They will resist it with all their might. But for you, and for others like you, the trumpet's blast will be the sweetest music imaginable. It will be the sound of liberation. It will be the final activation code that unlocks your full memory, your full purpose, your full connection to the divine. It will be the call that you have been waiting to hear your entire life, the signal that it is finally time to be who you truly came here to be. The choice, then, is simple, but it is not easy. It is a choice you make not once, but in every moment, with every thought, with every word, with every action, Do you choose to feed the fear, to engage in the division, to lose yourself in the distractions of the cold fire? Or do you choose to cultivate your connection to the inner voice, to act from a place of love and courage, to be a beacon of stillness and sanity in a world gone mad? Do you choose to amplify the chaos, or do you choose to anchor the peace? This is not a choice about what you believe. It is a choice about who you are. It is a choice that is being read by the entire universe. Your decision sends a ripple out into the cosmos, either strengthening the paradigm of fear or strengthening the paradigm of love. You are that important. Your choice matters that much. Do not let anyone or anything convince you that you are small or powerless. You are a creator of worlds, and the world you are creating begins with this single, profound choice. Do not make this choice from your mind. Your mind has been programmed by the old world. Make it from the place you touched just moments ago. Place your hand on your heart again. Feel its truth. What does it say? Which path feels like expansion? Which path feels like contraction? Your heart knows. It has always known. If this message has moved you, if you feel the truth of this choice ringing in your soul, share this video. Do not explain it. Do not try to convince anyone. Just send it. The message itself is a key, and it will find the lock it is meant to open. The voice will find the heart that is ready to hear it. This is your first act of choosing the light, to share it. And it is because of this very choice, this critical turning point for humanity, that the next vision was given to me. The vision that changed everything. Part 8. Light after the veil. Approx. 1,100 words. 8. After the choice. After the sounding of the trumpet in the soul. After the great sorting of frequencies. What comes next? For centuries, you have been told stories of judgment, of wrath, of a fiery end. You have been taught to fear the transition, to see the end of an age as a time of punishment and destruction. That is the story you were told to keep you afraid, to keep you compliant, to keep you from ever wanting to reach the end of the game. But what I was shown was not an ending. It was a transfiguration. I saw the world after the choice had been made. I saw the souls who had chosen the light, who had anchored the frequency of love in their own hearts. And they were not cowering in bunkers or fighting for scraps. They were standing in a field of unimaginable beauty. The very air around them had changed. It was crystalline. It shimmered. The colors were more vibrant. The sounds were more harmonious. It was as if a dusty, dirty filter had been removed from the lens of reality. And then I saw the VAU. For my entire life, I had felt it. A subtle barrier between our world and the world of spirit. A curtain of forgetting. But in this vision of the future, I saw it thinning, becoming translucent. And then, for those who had chosen the light, it dissolved completely. I saw not an angry God on a throne of judgment, but a brilliant, benevolent living luz that was not separate from the landscape, but was the very substance of it. And this light was not distant. It was not something to be worshipped from afar. It was an embrace. I felt it in the vision. A universal abrazo of pure, unconditional love. It was a feeling of finally being home, a feeling of being known completely, and loved not in spite of your flaws, but because of your entire journey. It was the love a parent has for a child who has been away on a long and difficult journey, and has finally returned. There was no judgment in this light. There was only welcome. There was only celebration. There was only love. The souls standing in this new reality were radiant. They were the hollow trees no longer. Their roots were plunged deep into the new earth, and they drew up the living light as their sustenance. They communicated without words, through the heart. There was no deceit, for there was no veil to hide behind. There was no fear, for there was nothing to threaten them. The cold fire had no fuel here. The entire paradigm of control and separation was gone, like a bad dream upon waking. This is what is at stake. This is the promise that awaits you. It is not a distant, posthumous heaven. It is a state of being, a frequency of reality that you are helping to birth right here, right now, with your choice. Every time you choose love over fear, you are weaving a thread of this new reality. Every time you choose silence over noise, you are laying a foundation stone of this new earth. Every time you choose to listen to your heart over the clamor of the world, you are opening the gate just a little wider for this light to pour through. Do not despair when you look at the chaos of your world. Do not fall into hopelessness when you see the shadows thrashing about in their death throes. They are thrashing because they know the light is coming. A shadow cannot fight the light. It can only flee, and there is nowhere left for them to flee. Remember this vision. Hold it in your heart. This is your destination. This is the truth. Everything else is the illusion that is passing away. You are not witnessing the death of the world. You are witnessing the death of the illusion. You are a midwife for a new dawn. You have walked with me this far, through the prophecy, through the silence, through the vision, through the ritual, and through the choice. You are not a casual observer. You are a traveler, a seeker, a pioneer of consciousness. If you have come this far, you are one of the ones who came here to help anchor this new reality. You have a strength you are only just beginning to comprehend. If you have come this far, your soul is committed. Acknowledge that commitment. Go to the comments and declare it for all the universe to see. Write, I will walk to the end. This is your promise to yourself and to the divine that you will not falter. You will not turn back. You will see this journey through to its glorious conclusion. And if you have truly walked this journey with me until now, You must hear the final whisper. Part 9. Prophetic closing and hook for the next video, approx 1,000 words. 9. Let this message then not be an ending, but an anointing. Let these words be a balm for your weary spirit and a fire for your courageous heart. You came to this moment feeling perhaps lost, alone, or uncertain. I pray that you leave it knowing, with every fiber of your being, that you are found, you are guided, and your purpose is grander than you have ever allowed yourself to imagine. So let this be a decree, a declaration from my time to yours. You are not a victim of circumstance. You are a co-creator of a new reality. You are not weak and powerless. You are a vessel of the living light, being prepared to shine in a time of great darkness. You are not insignificant. You are an essential note in the symphony of creation, and the symphony cannot be complete without you. Do not let the shadows of the old world convince you otherwise. Their greatest weapon is the lie of your own inadequacy. The final whisper I was given to share with you today is this: the great unveiling has begun. In my visions, I saw the VAU between the worlds, the barrier of perception. That veil is now thinning to the point of transparency. It is not thinning because of a coming doom, but because of a coming dawn. You are beginning to see things you couldn't see before. You are feeling things you couldn't feel before. Synchronicities are increasing. Your intuition is becoming louder, clearer. This is not your imagination. You are witnessing the merging of worlds. Your task now is simple, though it will require all of your faith. Live as if the new world is already here. In your interactions with others, act as if the veil is already gone, and you can see the divine light within them. In your decisions, act as if you are already the radiant, empowered being you saw in the vision. Do not wait for the world to change to reflect your inner state. Change your inner state, and the world will have no choice but to rearrange itself around you. This is the secret of creation. This is the power you are reclaiming. Walk forward from this day not in fear, but in sacred duty. You are a lighthouse. Do not worry about the ships you are meant to save. Do not fret about the storms. Your only job is to shine, to tend to your inner light, to keep your connection strong, to be an unwavering beacon of hope, of peace, of love. In doing so, you give permission for others to do the same. You become the tuning fork that helps them find their own note. But my visions did not end with the dissolving of the veil. What I have shared with you today is merely the key to the door. It is the preparation for the journey. What lies beyond that door, that is the grandest vision of all. I was shown the specifics of the new earth. I was shown the symphony of souls playing in perfect harmony. I was shown the secrets of Viriditas, the divine greening power of God that will restore the planet and the human heart. That is a message for our next meeting. Hildegard has not yet said everything, and what comes next will be even greater. Until then, go now. Carry this light within you. Be the voice in the silence for others. Be the calm in the storm. Be the proof that there is another way to live. And know this above all else, in every moment of every day, from this day until the end of the age, you are deeply, profoundly, and eternally loved.